The secret to relationships: attract connection and heal from within. Have you ever wondered why some relationships feel like home, while others drain the very life out of you? The truth is, it has less to do with the other person, and far more to do with the reflection you carry within. What if every connection, joyful or painful, was never random at all? What if each person who enters your life is holding up a mirror, showing you exactly what you need to see to heal and grow? And what if the love you've been searching for outside has been waiting quietly inside you all along? The moment you discover this truth, everything about how you experience relationships begins to change. As we step into this journey, I invite you to set aside every old story you've told yourself about love, heartbreak, and connection. Breathe deeply. Feel your heart soften for a moment, because the secret we are about to uncover is not about chasing others, fixing them, or waiting for them to change. It begins where everything truly begins, with you. And so, let us begin the first chapter. Chapter 1. Love begins within, not without. So often, we are taught that love is something we must find out there, that it is another person's attention, their affection, their commitment, that makes us feel whole. But here's the truth. No relationship outside of you can ever be stronger than the relationship you hold with yourself. Every word you whisper to yourself, every way you treat yourself, every thought you repeat in your mind, it all becomes the foundation upon which every connection is built. When you neglect yourself, when you criticize yourself, when you forget your own worth, you unknowingly invite others to treat you the same way. But when you nurture yourself, when you honor your needs, when you choose kindness toward your own soul, you radiate a presence that naturally draws others to treat you with respect and love. Relationships are mirrors. They do not create who you are. They reflect who you are being. If you feel unseen, unheard, unworthy, it's often because deep inside you are not seeing, hearing, or honoring yourself. The outside simply magnifies the inside, and that means something incredibly powerful. You hold the key. You are not at the mercy of how others show up. By tending to your inner world, you shift the reflection. Questions for reflection. So pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do I speak to myself with kindness or with criticism? Do I honor my boundaries, or do I constantly push them aside for others? Do I give myself permission to rest, to feel, to be? Your answers reveal the hidden script you are carrying into every connection. The journey to deep, lasting love doesn't begin with finding the one. It begins with becoming the one, someone who knows their worth, someone who chooses self-respect, someone who radiates wholeness. And when you live from that place, love outside of you becomes a beautiful addition, not a desperate need. We move forward. Remember this: love doesn't begin when another person chooses you. It begins the moment you choose you. And from that choice, something profound happens. You begin to attract people who mirror back the love you've already found. Within this brings us to our next chapter. Chapter 2. You attract who you are. There's a universal law at play in every connection. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. You can wish for kindness, crave loyalty, or long for deep intimacy. But if within yourself you are carrying fear, doubt, or unworthiness, those vibrations ripple outward, and life, like a mirror, reflects them back to you in the form of people and experiences that match that energy. The repeating patterns. Have you noticed how certain relationship patterns repeat? Maybe you always end up with partners who don't commit, or friends who take more than they give, or coworkers who don't respect your boundaries. It's not because you're unlucky. It's because, on some level, those dynamics are echoing what already lives within you until you shift the pattern inside. The outside will continue to show you the same lesson again and again, becoming the energy you seek. Here's the secret. If you want love, be love. If you want respect, embody respect, first toward yourself. If you want loyalty, practice loyalty to your own values and boundaries. You attract not by chasing or convincing, but by becoming the energy you hold sets the tone for who enters your life and how they treat you. A simple example. Imagine a person who constantly doubts themselves. Even when someone compliments them, they brush it off or dismiss it. Over time, Others stop giving compliments because the energy of self-doubt doesn't allow the words to land. Now imagine someone who radiates quiet confidence. They don't need attention, but they honor their worth. Suddenly, people are drawn to them. Respect flows naturally. It's not forced, it's mirrored. Reflection for you. Take a moment to ask yourself, am I embodying the love I desire? Do I practice the respect I want others to give me? Is my energy aligned with the relationships I dream of? When you shift your inner state, your outer relationships begin to change almost effortlessly. But there is one powerful force that accelerates this transformation like nothing else: gratitude. And that is where we turn next. Chapter 3. Gratitude, the secret sauce of connection. Gratitude is more than a polite thank you. It is one of the most transformative energies you can bring into any relationship. When you shift your focus from what is missing to what is present, from flaws to blessings, the entire dynamic begins to change. Why gratitude matters? It's easy to get caught in cycles of complaint. They don't listen, they don't care, they don't do enough. But every time we fixate on lack, we amplify it. We see more of what we don't want. Gratitude interrupts that cycle. It shines a light on what is working. It softens the heart, creating space for connection to grow. And the surprising truth: when you appreciate someone, they often begin to show up with more of the very qualities you're grateful for. A simple practice. Try this. For the next 7 days, write down 3 things you appreciate about a loved one every single day. They don't have to be grand. It could be the way they make you laugh, the way they remember small details, or simply their presence beside you. As you do this, notice how your energy shifts. Notice how your interactions change. Gratitude doesn't just alter your perception. It alters the energy you radiate, which in turn shapes the relationship itself. An everyday example. Think of a time when someone truly appreciated you, when they noticed your effort, spoke kind words, or made you feel seen. How did that change your energy? Didn't it inspire you to give even more of your best self? That is the power of gratitude. When offered sincerely, it multiplies from criticism to appreciation. So often, relationships crumble under the weight of constant criticism. Gratitude offers a way back. Instead of focusing on what's broken, it invites us to celebrate what's beautiful. And when love is celebrated, it expands. Gratitude opens the heart. But there's another shift we must make if we want lasting peace in our connections: letting go of the urge to control, to fix, or to mold others into who we think they should be. And that is what we'll uncover next. Chapter 4. Stop trying to fix others. One of the greatest blocks to harmony in relationships is the hidden belief that others must change before we can feel peace. We think, if only they would listen more, if only they were kinder, if only they acted differently, then I could finally be happy. But here's the truth. Love was never meant to be a project, and people were never meant to be fixed. Why fixing doesn't work? The moment you step into the role of fixer, you create resistance. No one wants to feel like they're not enough as they are, even if your intentions are pure. Trying to reshape someone signals that you don't fully accept them, and resistance breeds distance. Real love is not about control, it's about freedom. The freedom to be seen, the freedom to be imperfect, the freedom to grow in one's own time. The only transformation you control. Here's the empowering shift. The only person you can truly change is yourself. When you raise your energy, when you embody peace, when you choose compassion instead of criticism, you change the vibration of the entire relationship. Think of it like tuning an instrument. When one string resonates at a higher pitch, the others begin to adjust. Your energy sets the tone, a story to remember. Imagine a couple where one partner is constantly trying to make the other more organized, more ambitious, more together. Every suggestion feels like judgment, and soon the partner withdraws. The more one tries to fix, the more distance grows. Now imagine the same relationship, but this time, instead of focusing on flaws, appreciation flows. Instead of correction, there's encouragement. Slowly, the partner begins to rise, not because they were forced, but because they felt safe, supported, and accepted. True love frees. Love is not about reshaping others into your vision. Love is about holding space for them to rise into their own. And, ironically, the less you try to fix them, more transformation naturally happens. When we stop trying to fix others, something powerful happens. We begin to turn inward. We start noticing the wounds within ourselves that relationships so often bring to the surface, and that leads us into the heart of our next exploration. Chapter 5. Healing Past Wounds Through Present Awareness. Every relationship carries echoes of the past. The arguments that trigger us, the fears that rise, the insecurities that whisper in our ear. Many of these did not begin with the person in front of us. They are old wounds, resurfacing through present interactions. The past in disguise, when someone ignores your message and you feel abandoned. Perhaps it's not just about them. It's about an earlier time when you felt unseen. Someone criticizes you and you feel crushed. Perhaps it's an old echo of not being good enough in your childhood. Relationships often act like time machines, pulling forward the emotions we thought we had buried. Awareness as healing. The key to healing is not suppressing these reactions, but becoming aware of them. Pause when the trigger arises. Ask yourself, is this truly about the present, or is it my past speaking through me? This awareness itself is a doorway to freedom, because once you recognize the wound, you are no longer controlled by it. Rewriting the story, healing begins when you stop repeating the same old story. I'm always abandoned. I'm never good enough. I can't trust anyone. These stories may have been born from real pain, but they do not have to define you. You can choose a new narrative. I am worthy of love. I am safe to be myself. I release the past and embrace the present. Forgiveness as freedom. Forgiveness is not about excusing the harm done. It is about releasing yourself from the chains of resentment. By letting go, you free your own heart to receive love again. You might even use affirmations like, I release the past. I choose peace. I welcome new love. Each time you repeat them, you loosen the grip of old pain. A living example. Think of someone who carried bitterness from one relationship into the next. No matter how kind their new partner was, the shadow of the past hovered over every interaction. The moment they chose to forgive, not for the other person, but for themselves, their energy changed, and so did the relationship. Healing your past wounds transforms your present, and as you heal, you begin to see relationships in a new light, not as punishments or random events, but as teachers guiding your soul. This leads us to our next insight. Chapter 6. Relationships as teachers. Every person who enters your life comes with a purpose. Some stay for years, others only for a season, but all of them, whether they bring joy or pain, arrive carrying a lesson. Not everyone is meant to stay. It's easy to believe that every connection should last forever. But the truth is, some people are not meant to walk your entire path. They come to awaken something in you, to reflect a truth, or to challenge you to grow. When you cling to what was only meant to be temporary, suffering arises. But when you embrace the idea that relationships can be teachers, you free yourself to learn, grow, and release with grace. Changing the question, instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? This simple shift moves you out of victimhood and into empowerment. A painful breakup may be teaching you self-worth. A betrayal may be teaching you boundaries. A friendship fading may be teaching you that growth sometimes means outgrowing. Lessons hidden in contrast. Even the most challenging relationships hold gifts. Sometimes it is through being treated poorly that you learn to treat yourself better. Sometimes it is through heartbreak that you discover resilience. Sometimes it is through loss that you learn gratitude for what remains. Life uses contrast, light and shadow, joy and pain to shape your wisdom. A new perspective when you begin to see every connection as a teacher. You no longer carry resentment with the same weight. You can say, thank you for the lesson. Thank you for showing me what I needed to see. This does not mean you excuse harmful behavior. It means you reclaim your power by finding meaning in it. And as you learn from others, you eventually arrive at the most profound lesson of all, that the most important relationship you will ever have is not with another person, it is with yourself. Chapter 7. The most important relationship of all. There is one relationship that shapes every other relationship in your life. It is not with your partner, your parents, your friends, or even your children. It is the relationship you have with yourself. Why it matters: when you abandon yourself, you unconsciously invite others to abandon you. When you disrespect yourself, you open the door for others to do the same. But when you honor yourself, your voice, your needs, your truth, you set the standard for how the world responds to you. The energy you carry toward yourself becomes the blueprint for how others treat you. Self-love is not selfish. Many people confuse self-love with arrogance or selfishness. But self-love is not about thinking you are better than anyone else. It is about remembering that you are worthy, that your needs matter, and that your well-being is sacred. When you love yourself, you are not taking from others. You are simply filling your own cup so you can give more authentically. Without resentment or burnout, practicing inner care, self-love, is not only an idea, it is a practice. It looks like saying no when your boundaries are crossed, resting when your body asks for it, speaking to yourself with kindness instead of criticism, choosing environments and people that nourish your spirit. Each small act is a declaration, I matter. My well-being is important. The ripple effect. When you honor yourself, you naturally attract people who honor you. And if someone cannot meet that standard, their presence fades away. Self-love becomes a filter, allowing only the connections that align with your worth to remain. Once you realize that the foundation of all love is self-love, the question becomes, how do we bring this love outward so it flows into our interactions, making our connections deeper and more authentic? Chapter 8. Daily Practices to Transform Relationships. Lasting change in relationships doesn't come from one big conversation or a single grand gesture. It comes from small, consistent practices done daily with presence. These rituals tune your energy before you connect, soften your reactions when you're triggered, and steadily rewrite the story you carry into every relationship. Below are 5 simple practices. Choose 1 or 2 to begin. Do them every day for 7 days and watch how the tone of your connections begins to shift. Point 1. Mirror work. Meeting yourself before you meet others. When morning, 60 to 90 seconds. How? Stand in front of a mirror. Breathe in slowly, soften your gaze. Place a hand on your heart. Say out loud, gently, I see you. I choose to be kind to you today. Your needs matter. Your voice matters. You are enough. Why it works? Relationships mirror your inner stance. When you start the day by seeing yourself, you carry self-respect into every interaction and people feel it too. The Relationship Gratitude Journal. Training your focus. When? Morning or evening. 3 entries. How? Write down 3 things you appreciate about a partner, friend, or family member. Keep it specific. She remembered my meeting. He brewed coffee without being asked. They listened without fixing. 7-day challenge. Text or say one of these appreciations each day. Why it works? Attention amplifies what you appreciate. Grows your energy, softens. There's rises to meet it. 3. Forgiveness. Affirmations. Releasing yesterday's weight. When? Evening, 2 to 3 minutes. How? Sit quietly, hand on heart. Breathe slowly. Imagine the person or situation that still tugs at you. Say with feeling, I release the past. I choose peace. I welcome new love. Optionally, write a letter you won't send. Say everything you never said. Then fold it and place it away. Why it works? Forgiveness does not excuse harm. It frees your energy. You stop making today pay for yesterday. 4. Connection, visualization. Pre-paving your interactions. When? Before a call, meeting, or date. 90 seconds. How? Close your eyes. See the conversation going well. Picture warm eye contact, calm voices, relaxed shoulders. Hear yourself saying, I'm listening, and feel the safety that creates. Add an anchor as you visualize. Press thumb and forefinger together. Use that same gesture during the real conversation to return to calm. Why it works? Your nervous system rehearses safety. When the moment arrives, your body remembers. 5. The energy check, responding versus reacting. When in the moment you feel triggered. How? Take the sacred pause. 3 slow breaths. Breath 1, name it softly. I'm feeling tight. Breath 2, locate it. It's in my chest. Breath 3, choose a value. I choose respect, kindness, clarity. Then respond in I language. I feel overwhelmed. I need a 5-minute break, then I'm here to talk. Why it works? Space creates choice. Choice creates connection. Make it stick. Gentle guidance. Start small. Pick 2 practices for 7 days. Stack habits. Tie them to existing routines. Mirror work after brushing teeth. Gratitude journal with evening tea. Keep it felt, not forced. The quality of presence beats the quantity of minutes. These are not tricks to change others. They are ways to change the field. You bring into the room as your field softens and steadies. Relationships naturally follow. You've learned to meet yourself with kindness, to direct your focus toward appreciation, to release the past, to prepave safety, and to respond with intention. These small daily acts are how love becomes a lived reality. And now we arrive at the heart of the message. Closing chapter: love begins and ends with you. At the core of every relationship you've ever had and every one you will ever have, there is a single truth. They are all reflections of the way you relate to yourself. When you abandon yourself, you unconsciously invite others to abandon you. When you speak to yourself with harshness, you are more likely to accept harshness from others. But when you nurture, honor, and cherish yourself, you create a field of love so strong that it magnetizes the same energy back to you. The hidden secret of relationships. The secret has never been about controlling others or chasing their approval. The secret is about becoming whole within yourselves, much so that your presence radiates safety, compassion, and truth. When you do this, relationships cease to be battles for validation and instead become sanctuaries for growth. So pause, take a breath, and place your hand gently over your heart. Whisper to yourself, I am enough. I am love. I carry within me everything I've been searching for outside. Let this become your foundation. From here, every connection is transformative because others suddenly change. But because you have, love begins with you and love ends with you. The more deeply you cultivate it within, the more naturally it flows outward, touching everyone you meet. So walk forward with courage. Open your heart with trust. And remember, you are not here to beg for love, chase for love, or prove your worth for love. You are here to become love itself. This is the true secret to relationships. You heal within, connection flows without, and that love, once awakened, can never be taken away. Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions, your breakthroughs, and let us know what you'd love to hear next. Subscribe to stay connected. And if this message could uplift someone you care about, send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.